Alright, welcome to the third episode of Pen Rambling. If you have not seen the first two episodes, please do go and watch because it is kind of like introduction to Fountain Pen World, where there is a big black hole everywhere. Alright, just put it out there that I am not a native English speaker, so my English tends to go off. And if you find that unique, do support me by giving my video a like. Now in this part of the episode, I'm going to talk about papers. As you can see in front of you, that looks like a messy desk. So a very messy desk with a lots of paper. Now some may say that paper is an important part as we are going down to the fountain pen world. Some may say it is not important because it is like, alright, I'm using fountain pen just like every other day that I write with. Well, it depends. So let me know what is your thoughts about paper. Is it important, or is it just another tool that you go through so that you can use your fountain pen? Right. So there are two types of paper. One is fountain pen friendly, and the other one is just a regular paper that not suitable for fountain pen, but is suitable for other things. Let's put it that way. So I hope that this video may be not so long like the other first two video that I did. Who knows, I may be rambling until end of time. Right, so I have a lot of paper here, so I'm gonna move them out so that you don't see clutters or messy. Now in fountain pen world, there are a few types of brand that a lot of fountain pen uses. Okay, so I'm going to put them out of the way so that you have some sort of black only surface. Oops. Okay, so for paper, the famous one is Rhodia. Now Rhodia comes in a lot of different sizes, as well as the inside, the finish. You can have, this one is grid, and there are dots, which I don't have, I think, as well as blank. Most of the time I have grid. Okay, I do. Okay, so grid, which you may not notice so much. Okay, so there are dots here. So this is dot, this is grid or graph, and then plain. Alright, so plain and line, which I have somewhere. Alright, so that is Rhodia. Rhodia comes in a few finishes, as well as this type of Rhodia that uses Clairefontaine 90 GSM pepper. So this one is a bit more expensive, and the color of the grid, as you can see, is different. So this one is the one with the Clairefontaine. This one is Rhodia on paper, I think. And then there is other famous one that you may have heard of, that is called Tomwe River. Tomwe River is quite expensive compared to other paper, and there are two weights of that paper. One is the 52 GSM, which is very like newspaper like, very thin. Okay, it's very thin and it's very like newspaper. And then there is another one that is the 68 68 GSM, right? So 68 GSM is closer to 70 gram, so it would be more like a normal paper. Now same with Rhodia. You can find Tomwe River, that is in blank, the one that I showed you. You can also find them in grid. Okay, I think my exposure. Okay, you can find them in grid, as well as you can also find them in line. Okay. Hang on. And you can also find them in grid. Did I say that? Or dotted, which is oh no, where did I put it? Okay, so a 5mm dot grid. So these are the normal one. Alright, so not just that, there are other company like MD or Midori. There is also Kakuyo. There are also Lectrum, but I never used that one before since I have not even buy that one. And then there are brand like, okay, I think I need to put my exposure down. Alright, so these are made by a company called Life, and it is a Japanese company. I have not come across Korean company, if there is any, who knows. And there are also paper that is made by, that is not really fountain pen friendly, but you still can use them. For example, copier paper from Daiso. Okay, copier paper from Daiso, like this one. Okay, it writes really well. As well as another notebook from Daiso. Okay, this one is from Daiso. And you need to find the one that says made in Japan. If my camera can focus. Right. Company like Muji, okay, company like Muji also have paper, which is, I like this version. Okay, so this version is actually the unbleached paper version and semi-bleach or semi-bleach version, which writes wonderfully. So this is written, I think this one is written back in 3 years ago. Now it's 2021, 2018, I think, when I first came across this paper. And the unique thing about this paper, it is in a booklet form. Okay, as you can see, a booklet form. And the size that I'm currently have is A5. They have A6, I think, and I have them in my leather bound book. So they have the one that is unbleached and the one that is bleached. And of course, this is from Kakuyo. Okay, from Kakuyo. Kakuyo paper is also really nice, and there are some ink on this paper shows the sheening, the shading property, like this one. I think I better zoom in for you to see. Right, so if I can get something out that is not This ink is by Sailor Seibuku, and it is a pigment lined, and as you can see, this one shows some shading that I do not see at other paper, and it may show some sheening. Okay, it's a very wonderful pen for me to, the very wonderful ink for me to use. I love to use Seibuku with this one. I'm gonna do a bit of sample writing for every paper that I have already shown you, using random ink that I have in different size nib. So I have my stub. This one will be medium. I think that will be more like a broad, because this medium is quite thick. I have my broad, and I think this one will be the fine. That will be the finest that I have. Alright, so I know all of them is not okay. So this 4 pen, I know that it is not the same ink. So what I want to show you, what I want to show you is how the ink, the nib size perform in certain paper. Those paper that I already showed you just now are the paper that I use for my that I already use. Okay, so this one is Kakuyo. So I'm going to start with the fine nib. Alright, so this is a Japanese fine. I'm not going to write very long, just a very simple. Okay, so I'm going to write a little bit tilted like this. Alright, so that one is for fine nib on this paper. This is medium. I can use medium from the same line. Okay, this is the ink that I set really beautifully on this paper. I'm going to write the same thing for all the paper that I show you. And I have a broad. I don't have extra fine. I'm not very keen on extra fine. This is also Sailor pigment ink. This one is Seibuku. Alright. Final one is the broad, the 1.1 stub. I know this is not a fair comparison, but I'm not doing ink review, just showing that paper performance. Yeah, so this one is on Kakuyo. Next, I'm going to show you on, I may be switching from the good one, the bad one. Copier paper from Daiso. This one is made in Indonesia copier paper. It is quite good for fountain pen ink. So should I get a new one? I think I get a new one. Alright, so this is the copier paper mentioned from Daiso. Okay, I'm using A4 size. You know that this is from Daiso. Okay, get some ASMR. Right, so the same. I'm gonna write with 4 different types of nib. So it'll be fine nib, Alright, so that will be fine. Next one will be medium. I'm going to show all of the tests on the paper one by one by comparison later on when we're done with this one. Okay, broad. Now if you see just now, it is different on the Kakuyo paper, but this paper kind of like the ink are both the same, but it's not. One is seibuku, one is sobuku. And our 1.1, I don't have 1.5, my one and only one stub nib. Alright, so this is on the copier paper of Daiso paper. Next, I got a little bit luxury. I'm going to switch up and down. How about Rhodia paper first? Okay, so I think a lot of you who are in Fountain Pen World does know Rhodia paper. You do recognize it. So again, fine nib is, oh, the paper affects a little bit with the feedback key. So smoother paper will give less feedback, and as you can hear, not so smooth paper will give you a little more feedback. Now this is not feedback key, it is because I'm writing on a back of a cardboard, so you do hear the writing experience. Right, fine nib. I'm not very good at talking and then writing, so I may pause once in a while. Okay, I'm gonna write faster now because I don't want to drag too long, since we have quite a few of paper to go through. Now as you can see here, it is looking like it is same. I could have saved time by writing this first and then show you the comparison, but I think that it is experience. Okay, so this one is on Rhodia paper, and I'm going to go to another Rhodia paper, which is the one with the Clairefontaine one, which has the orange line. Now it's not feedback key because I'm writing on the back of a cardboard. Next one will be medium. Okay. Broad. Now you can see that there are a little bit of different in the color for this. At least I can see it. I hope that the camera does show it. Does it show? Yeah. You can see that this one is more of a blue black and this one is more of a blue. And the last one will be the stub. Right, so far they are very well behaved. I'm going to show you the one that is not so well behaved as well. Right, next will be the notebook from Daiso as well. Okay, I bought this one in Daiso, and let's see. Wait, did I go 20 minutes of this already? Next will be medium. So that's broad. I think you can see that these two are different color as well on this Japanese Daiso paper. Not all Daiso paper can be used with fountain pen. I'm going to show you next. And I think my handwriting is getting out of hand. Alright, now I'm going to show you the paper that doesn't perform well at all. Well, at least when I tried it, it was not well. Let's see. Right, fine nib seems to be fine, but I think I saw something which I'm gonna bring you up close in a bit. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I think I can. Okay. I'm going to show you something. Right, if my camera, can you see that there is a little bit of feathering, just like the T there. And then because this is a cheaper paper, I think this one is more. Hang on. You see that? Yep. So this happened on cheaper paper, what we call as bleed through or ghosting. And I'm going to show you other paper that we have tested as well. Let's go. I think that's it. Have I shown you Tomwe River? No. Alright, so this is Tomwe River 68 version. Okay, so that will be the fine nib. Next, let's see the medium. We move on to broad. And last one will be the stub. Right, so let's move out a little bit. Alright, so I want you to see something. Now for a cheaper paper, you can see number one, here there are things that comes out, which we call them as feathering, because it feathers out from, just like feathers, you know, there's the main thing and then there is this coming out, right? And then if you see that the line width for this paper, the cheaper paper, versus Tomwe River, the fine is really fine, and then the fine for this one seems to be a bit fatter. And then when it goes down to the broad, okay, so the broad here, okay, and then the broad here, you notice that on cheaper paper it tends to be a little fatter. Now for some people, they love to see the sheening of this, the ink. So I'm not sure if my camera gonna pick it up. I think so, it's gonna pick up. I'm gonna put the exposure going up a little bit. Can you see that? There's a little bit of reddish color going through here on this paper word. Okay, so that is a sheening property that you can find on a better paper compared to cheaper paper. And then on this paper as well, this one is a comparatively, right, so you can see that the fine on the cheaper paper is a bit fatter, a bit wider compared to the better or fountain pen friendly type of paper. I'm going to show you the next one, which is on Clairefontaine. That is on this one. So let's see them side by side. You notice that the medium here and the medium here, it is a lot different. One is by color, the other one is by the width of that line. And then I'm going to compare the cheaper paper of the one that I got from Daiso with the cheaper paper that I was using that is not fountain pen friendly. Now you can see this one, I'm not going to brag, but this even have shading, means that you see the end, the tip of the end here is a little bit lighter compared to the base of that end. And if you can see that, and then the tip of the T compared to the base of the T, it has a variation of the color. And this is on a copier paper on Daiso. Now if you're Malaysian or somewhere in this world, you know that Daiso is not an expensive place to go, but you can spend a lot of money going in and then coming out. So this one versus this one. And then now this one is a little bit shocking. Okay, you can see that it is almost the same, no variations whatsoever. I'm not so sure, because is it Malaysia having humid weather that causes this to happen, or is it the batch that I got is not so maybe they don't have enough coating on top of that. And then I want to show you the Kakuyo, the one that we written just now. As I mentioned, this is a very good notebook for fountain pen ink, right? So you can see the medium and you can see the sheening. You may be able to tell the sheening. Yeah, a little bit, you can tell a little bit. Okay, so the width of the ink, okay, so you can see that this is slimmer, this is a bit fatter. And then if I get my Tomwe River paper, now this is comparable. Can you see that? So just find any paper that is fountain pen friendly, and then you will have an amazing experience with your fountain pen, especially with the ink that have properties like shimmery, shading, and then this is sheening, where when you tilt the different angle you will get some sort of color floating on the top of the ink, right? So, and then this too, can you imagine that this is Tomwe River paper and this is a Kakuyo, I think that's what it's called. Okay, so this is all I'm gonna share from my paper, and it is coming to half an hour. Thank you for staying with me through the end of this video, and I hope to see you in my coming episodes. Give me a thumbs up, leave your comment in the comment section. What other paper that you like that is not so expensive and it shows some property as well. Alright, until then, please take care and I see you again. Bye bye.